Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond the Brush Live. I am Leah from Leah Noell Design Co.
And I'm Bianca of Lotus Theory Designs.
Welcome to our show. We are live here every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we have a great show for you guys today. You guys have been asking to see our workshops, and we are going to show them to you. So I hope you're excited because I actually cleaned my workshop up, believe it or not. Did you have to clean yours before the show today? Or is yours just always neat?
Oh no, it's not always neat. I swept it and put some stuff away. It's not perfect, but you know, it wouldn't be real if it was perfect.
Right, exactly. Mine's not perfect either because I've been working in here all morning. So you guys are going to see some real workshops here today. But first, we want to bring you guys the news of Dixie Belle. So let's get on with it.
So we have 10 new silk colors. If you have been paying attention to the paint world, especially in Dixie Belle land, we have a total of 10 new silk colors, all of which are desert themed, available right now at your local elite retailers. So if you want to get your hands on these silk colors, go to dixiebellepaint.com. The very top banner, there is a section there to locate your retailer, and then you put in your information and all the retailers near you will pop up and they are categorized. So to find your silk colors, you are looking for an elite retailer.
Absolutely. We also are shipping globally, you guys, now. So those of you guys that have, been following Dixie Belle Paint for a while because, Dixie Belle offers so many amazing tutorials. We have people from all over the world always asking, can we get your paint in Australia? Can we get your paint in Europe? Yes, you can. Dixie Belle is shipping internationally. So you could just go right on the website, order your product, and it'll get shipped directly to you anywhere in the world.
And lastly, Dixie Belle is still offering your free gemstone mousse when you make a purchase on the website of $100 or more. So get it while the getting is good. And that concludes our news.
Sure does. All right. Okay, Bianca, do you want to ask a question? I don't know if we're going to do one or two, so why don't you ask your favorite one?
I do. I start doing a little shimmy because this is actually a really fun part of the program where we get to know you guys, and Leah and I get to know each other and all of that. So Leah has compiled 2 questions this week. I'm just going to randomly pick one. And so I'm going to pick the one that speaks to my heart, which is about food. If you could eat only one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? And I am going with seafood. That's it.
You got a whole genre in there.
Well, yeah.
My answer now.
Well, why would I put myself in a box?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't do that with my paint, and I don't do that with my food.
Oh, that's smart. I know, because I'm like, there's got to be stipulations with this because, like, I got to be able to eat whatever, like that one thing, and I got to, like, not feel crappy for eating it. So I was going to say nachos, like with the synthetic cheese, but I mean, I guess I could do, like, a variety of different kinds of nachos, like.
Sure. Yeah, the term nachos is, nachos. There's chicken nachos. There are seafood nachos. Yeah.
That can get very interesting. I love it. What about you guys? What would you, if you could only choose one food to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Cynthia says tacos. See, and again, tacos. There's many different tacos. There's street tacos. Yeah. There's carnitas tacos. There's ice cream tacos. That ice cream. What is it? That Choco taco. You can get them on the ice cream truck. They're delicious. Speaking of ice cream, Anita says ice cream.
Ice cream's good. Pizza.
Avian says pizza. We have sushi. Cynthia, she just says yes. So I'm assuming it's all good to you, Cynthia.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of seafood and tacos.
Seafood.
Yeah,
tacos.
I'm wondering which is going to win. Chocolate. I knew it was coming.
It's a competition now.
Yeah, it is a competition, right? So with that said, keep them coming, guys. I think we should do the other question too.
Okay.
I like this. This is fun. Please.
This one's fun. Okay. So if you could travel back in time, what year would you go to?
Okay. Sheila says fresh veggies.
Sheila,
I just had to say.
So good. Sheila, I love you.
I just had to, we'll get back on topic.
Really good. You'd feel really good, right? No, we're still on topic. We definitely need to hear more answers about the food too. And then also, would you travel back in time? What year would you go to?
Oh, you know what? Avian says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the 1920s, very sexy. I know that the Depression happened and there was stuff, the wars and blah, blah. But that was also a pretty significant time for women.
Yeah.
And I believe after that, women were getting out there, they're getting in the factories, they were making things happen. We can do it, all Rosie the Riveter. And then after that came the flappers and all of that. Yeah. Very cool ambiance. I'm liking it.
So what year would you go to, Bianca? We haven't heard.
I'm not really sure. I don't have a specific year, but I'm going with probably the 90s. I don't know. Yeah. They were fun.
They were good.
They were good. The music was good. Outfits were, we think they're not good now, but at the time they were good. It was a fun time. And I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of worries at the time.
Right.
Things were just good. Mm-hmm.
And the 90s are coming back. I'm telling you, my daughter Reagan is wearing the same clothes that I wore in 4th grade. I'm like, you're me. The baggy jeans, the hoodies.
My daughter comes, she's like, did you see my new boots? And she shows me these boots, you guys. And I started laughing and she's like, what? And instantly Spice Girls came into mind. Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Yeah.
I got my Spice Girls shoes too, the high heel tennis shoes.
Yes. I was like, girl, come on. We were doing that. When were the 90s? 30 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't look a day over 21.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. And I'm sticking with that. What about you? Did you answer?
No, I would have to say, okay, so if I could go back in time and have the Outlander experience, I would have to go with that medieval year. But if I had to go back and catch up with my life, I would go back to, I have to ask, where are my Outlander fans at? Because that is totally where this question came from. And I know a lot of you guys have to watch that show. But I would go back to 2005 because I would be at the point where I was driving. I would know better. And then I would get to experience my kids' childhood all over again. And it would just be fun, just savor those little years a little bit more.
Yeah, you had to take it to a wholesome place, right? I went back before I even had kids and all that. Well, my kid is grown.
Oh no, I mean I had some time before that, but just to look back and be like, what is this?
Tony says Outlander is one of my favorites. Yes, you were right. I've never seen it. I guess I'm gonna have to go watch that. And Peaky Blinders, we've discussed that before.
Peaky Blinders is way better. The Outlander is so good. 70s, just to be a mom again. Just to see my mom again. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh, that's hot, Diana. That's hot. Working in a saloon. She wants to be a bar wench in 1850. You go, girl.
I just would be so afraid to go back that far.
I don't know. Man, you have a good, wholesome answer. The time when Jesus walked on earth. Amen to that. I'm with you on that. Although, I don't know. That may have been hard. I don't know. But it would have been cool. I hear you.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of 60s, I can see that, especially with those glasses. Look at Patty's profile picture with the glasses. She came prepared with this answer.
Patty's got a question in our thread too, so we got to make sure we answer her since she's here today.
Oh, perfect. All right, so we're getting read the books of the Outlander series.
Oh, read them? I just like watching the show. I don't know about reading them. I'm not that
Books
dedicated.
are typically better. I'm not that
dedicated. I hear that, but no, I like it on TV. So I can paint while I'm doing it. You can't read and paint at the same time.
You could do audiobooks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would work.
Anyway, that was fun. Thanks for playing, everyone. Lots of fun.
Those are good. Those are good.
Do we want to show off our workshops?
Yes. Do you want to go first?
Nope.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yep.
All right.
I went first last time when we showed the staging area, so.
Okay. So this is my second workshop I've ever had. I do have a blog on it, giving you guys some tips and such that, on like things that I brought with me from the old workshop. I do want to say that I started this business. I think this is really important. And I always start with this before I show off my space because it's a cool space. It is. I've worked hard on it. But 5 years ago, a little under like 4.5 years ago, I started this business and we started in my garage in September. And then it got cold and I brought everything into my living room. And my house was like, it was like living room, kitchen, and that was it. And I brought one piece of furniture in there a week, 1 to 3 pieces a week. And I moved all the furniture out of the way. And I used to paint in my living room with my family all around, watching TV, cooking, whatever, doing homework. And everyone was kind of buzzing around me. And sometimes I miss those days. But my point is that working in that living room space that, I just had a very small paint stash. I was able to raise enough money to install a heater in my shop within like, I don't know, a 6-month period. And so I just want to encourage those of you guys who are like, gosh, I'm working out of my living room, or, I would love to put a heater in my shed. Like it just took like 6 months of doing 1 piece of furniture, 1 to 3 pieces of furniture a week. And I was able to actually afford to put a furnace in my garage. So if you're working out of your kitchen right now or your living room, because I know so many people do, I just want to encourage you because that's where I started too. So now I'll show you guys. Can I flip my camera? I don't think I can, but that's okay. So now I'll show you guys the shop. So this is, let me come over here. So this is where you would enter, and I have shelving here and then shelving here.
Okay, really quick, you guys, we both have that same sign. We're so funny. Well, I don't want to move anything. I don't want to take your spotlight, but I have that same antique sign over my area. How funny.
I did, because I saw yours over your door and I bought it. And then I put it over my door. So I took an idea from Bianca too. Yeah. And then these right here were built in. So these are like built-in cabinets that were here before I even got here. And they're even on a riser. So they're kind of tall. And then we put all the shelvings in. And then, that's you, Cynthia. I knew that would speak to someone. And then this is the garage door. It has windows, which I love. And back to my old shop, I was actually going to take out a panel in my garage door and put windows in. And if you see here too, there's a flooring. So I go to the hardware store and I buy like a linoleum Rembrandt flooring, like just on sale. And when we put the shop in, the excess that they had like cut off the roll was the exact measurements I needed, like to the T. It was amazing.
How funny.
Yeah, I love when things like that happen. Yeah. So then this keeps my booty warm. So like I can sit down, and then I also have like mats and stuff. And then this is my current piece I'm working on. And then we come over here, and then this is kind of hard this is my Lazy Susan from Gary and Molly from Molly's Creations.
Oh, did they make that for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Did they put goat on there?
Yep, they sure did.
Cute. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, they painted it. And then on this side, I have more, what do you call it? More of that, I don't know, cabinetry. And then I think these are over 12 foot long boards right here. And then it kind of goes on forever, it feels like. Okay, so then I have a really tiny space right here that goes to like my sink that's not really hooked up. And then this is like behind me. Let's see. Behind me is all of my furniture. So I keep about 40 pieces in here at a time, like 40 to 45 pieces in the center. I'm really good at Tetris. And then
you have to be. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then if you come this way, it's probably the best angle. So then this is like the entryway to our house. So I always have a big chalkboard. I love my big chalkboard because like when Dixie Belle sends out like new transfers or anything, I hang them up and I look at them for a long time before I decide what I'm going to do. And then this is my staging area right here. And then this is where I work on like small pieces. This is my window. Gotta have a window. Thank you, Patty. So this is my window. And then this is my spray booth and my heater, and I'm getting another heater and air conditioner put in. I got like a split unit, and it really wasn't that expensive for like what it does, but I'm putting a split unit in here too. And then the stairs go up to my kitchen. But yeah, this was like a built out right here that is like the perfect size for a spray booth, which was like awesome. Like I always say, I feel like we lived in the same house for 22 years, and I feel like this house was just like made for us. Like each owner did different things, and it was all the things that like I wouldn't want to do, like put a new roof on and stamp the driveway and all of those like boring things, put new gutters on. And so I get to do all the fun stuff, like redo the kitchen and the flooring and all of that. So this shop was finished as well with like drywall, and it was painted. The ceiling's super high. So I'm really blessed, and I know it because this is, it's a nice workshop, but it did take a while to get that flow, like, how you have like a workflow.
Yeah,
it did take a while to get that, but yeah, that's my shop. And then we have a refrigerator full of beer as well. And
of course.
And you know what's funny? I don't know if you guys are like this, but in my family, I don't care who comes over. We always hang out in here. And I have these chairs in here. If it's my parents, if it's my husband's parents, if it's my sister, if it's like, we always hang out in the garage, in the shop. Like I have, a whole house, and we always hang out in here.
That is funny.
It is. And at the old house, it was the same thing. Like probably because the beer's close, but like we just always hang out in here. And then we sit and we talk, and I usually work, and it works out good.
That does work out. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, your space seems to be huge.
It does seem really big. I
Listen,
think
45 pieces of furniture, that's some space.
Stacked. I mean, I'm counting all the big and the small. It is pretty big, and it's tall. It's really tall in here. When we counted the square footage, I don't think it's bigger than my old workshop. Honestly, we don't. I think it might be a little longer, but it's like the way that the space is it's just bigger.
I guess.
Yeah, it is. It is a nice size, and the best part is Kurt's got his own shed. So, he's got a shed. I got a garage, and we get along really, really good now.
Yeah.
Stay out of my space.
Yeah, Kurt. So Robin says, you have come so far in your business out of your home in Griffith. I'm so proud of you.
I know, Robin. Thank you. Yeah, it is. And it's one of those things where I just started small, like each and every one of you on here who, either you have a workshop now, or you're working towards it, or, maybe you're just doing it as a hobby, but that's how I started. And honestly, like, I just kind of miss working in the living room. They won't let me paint in there now.
I don't miss it at all. For me, it was the kitchen. And, the kids would come in there, and they were younger then, and I'm like, get out of my kitchen, but we're hungry. I don't care. Get out.
Yeah. You're throwing granola bars at them.
Right. That's not my problem. Get out. Yeah, I'm mom of the year. If I keep doing this, you guys, I'm not crying. Makeup irritates my eyes. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, Cynthia thinks that's funny. Cynthia also says, I have a 2-car garage, but it's not organized or air conditioned or heated, but it's in my plans. I need to move out of the living room. Yeah. Cynthia, I have a split unit in here as well. I ended up getting it on like OfferUp. It is totally in Spanish. So I don't think that like everything, and then it's measured in Celsius and all, but I didn't care because it was only like $400.
Yeah.
So I think it came from, somewhere else. And I'm like, hey, as long as it gets the job done. So maybe just look for deals like that. I mean, $400 to have air conditioning, because in Arizona here, it gets very, very hot. So
yeah. Or just ask, like, so my old neighbor did heating and air conditioning. So he installed ours, but you can also just ask them, like, sometimes people return units, or if you know somebody in that industry, they're able to get them at a better deal for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. So is this Cheryl? Leah?
Let's see. JJ Bean Designs. I don't know. Is it?
Oh, I can't remember. I'm sorry. I think it is. My workshop is our oversized 2-car garage. Was on my supposed to do to have a little space, and took the whole thing over. So she took the whole space over, and her husband built a staging and filming area for the lives. He's the best.
I love that. I love that.
I do
that
too.
was my husband too. He was like, you got to get out of the garage before it snows. You got to get out. And then I started making a little bit of money, and he's like, you can have the garage. It's okay. You can stay there. It's Cheryl.
Oh gosh, Amber, I did have a back porch with 3 walls until 3 weeks ago. Wind blew that down, and I have a garage, but it's filled with furniture. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. That is one thing about living in Arizona. I mean, we get some weather here, but I don't know. I feel like for what I do in this industry and painting and all of that, I feel very blessed. Like, I don't need to have a spray booth inside of my space. Right. Leah, you've been to my space. My space isn't very big.
No.
It's clearly smaller than yours, my goodness. And then even though my husband has a shed, a man cave, so there's a build out on the back side of my house, and it's, like a room, and that's supposed to be his man cave. He still has a section in over here and then a section over there. I put him next to the water heater and walled it off. So, he's got his little private work area, which works well for us. But
so are you going to show us?
I know, right? I'm not as mobile as you because of my setup. So I'm going to do what I can do to show you what I have going on. And I'm also, let's see what I can do here. So
I can read questions. I can look at them.
Please, that would be helpful. So I'm hoping that my camera doesn't, sometimes when the cord gets moved,
I've been to Bianca's workshop. It's so well organized. It's beautiful.
All right. So there's my garage door. Isn't it gorgeous?
Love it. Looks just like mine.
Actually, it's kind of cool. My story is very similar. So when I first moved in here, hey guys, I'm behind the camera. When I first moved in here, if you look closely, it's insulated. Oops.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and then, to my surprise, the air conditioning for the house actually comes in here too. I still ended up having to get a split unit because it was still just a bit too hot. But that, and with like the brick and everything, like the brick walls, see it up there? It's totally usable during the summer. So it gets kind of colder in here than it does my house, which is nice. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of zoom in. So I guess we'll just work our way through. I did, Leah. Good eye. So at one point, all of this was behind us. And I actually had a bit of a termite issue. I don't know if I told you that, but behind these shelves. So I went into one of these cabinets to find something, and there was termites in there. And when I moved the shelves out, there was more termites in there. And I've actually had my house treated. Termites are very, very common here. And I've had my house treated for termites before. Apparently they just, rerouted and came into my garage. So I actually just said, well, this is a great time to move everything around. I am termite free, by the way, everyone. But, it happens. The damage wasn't catastrophic, which is nice. And I've had everything treated. So yeah, I ended up switching everything around. Anyway, so here's just some stuff. I keep everything pretty organized as much as I possibly can. You see all my little Dixie Belle products. I actually bought new containers. These were labeled, but they will be labeled. But some of the contents of them is like, I have one for gilding wax. There's like hardware for trays, markers, pens, pencils, all of that is in there, etc. So moving on, I have this cabinet situation that I had purchased from a thrift store, and I think that they were $30 a piece. There's 3 units here, and this is where I keep all of my paints on display, and they're all color organized. And if you look, I even have the little tags that go with it because, like Leah said, I'm super organized. It's weird. I am like this paradox because I am so organized, but I am so messy at the same time, you guys. So don't let this fool you, okay? I am a hot mess. Yeah.
I'm totally fooled.
Yeah. So over here, look, we have oh my gosh, look.
Yep.
The antique sign. And then I have, so this is a frame, you guys. I needed a way to hang my paintbrushes. That's just a frame that I added pegboard to.
That's smart.
And in these drawers here, I've had these for some time. I keep all of my wood you bend on the right side, and those are labeled by type. And then on the left side is hardware. So just an idea for you guys there. And then I just have more products here. I had my husband build me the shelf here. Because I wanted it for these paints here. So this is all Dixie Belle paint, but if I'm ever hand painting something, it can be a pain to pour a little bit of paint out of these jars onto a plate, if I'm just hand painting flowers or something. So I ended up buying these. This was we're in lockdown because COVID just hit project for me. And I started to put them into these bottles here. So more Dixie Belle, and then it just kind of goes on to tools and all of that. If we look at my floor, I installed this. So I had like a cork floor at one point. And it's funny, my story is similar to yours. I was looking for flooring, but with inflation and everything, flooring has skyrocketed. It would have cost me almost $1,000 to do this space. So you can see where the floor kind of begins and ends. $1,000 to do this space.
Wow.
I ended up doing it for $80, and it was exactly the amount that I needed. I got it at Habitat for Humanity. So
yeah. Isn't that amazing? I love when that happens.
I know. It's like, the stuff works out,
It does.
Beyond that, behind me, I don't even know if I want to show you guys. Like, honestly, it's a hot mess. That's my husband's stuff. Like, he likes one of his hobbies is speakers. That's my old flooring, and it's just kind of a mess back here. So nothing to see here. Keep it moving. And then I've got more stuff kind of just over here lining up. All of this is actually going to be cleared out eventually. I'm opening a booth in Scottsdale, Arizona. Should be open at the end of the month. And
how exciting.
Oh, that should be. Yeah, I know. But so it's a little cluttered in here more than I'd like it. But as long as I can function, I'm happy. And then, I have other things behind me, which, it's kind of, I'm not going to turn around. But one of the things I would recommend you guys, get yourself one of these. So this is a little rolly cart. I picked it up at Goodwill. But anyway, it's nice because the cart rolls around. I keep all my paints and stuff on it, and they just kind of roll with me. Along with my stool, which has wheels. So, I don't think I'll be able to.
Wheels are nice. Wheels are nice.
You know what?
There it is. We all got one of those.
Yeah. And then I don't have a Lazy Susan like you do, but what I do have, and again, they're just kind of, I have them not packed away, but they're just hard to get to. Otherwise I'd show you. But what I do have, you guys, is particle board? Yeah. Slabs that I have cut down. I have like 4 different sizes that I have cut down into slabs, and then I have rolling dollies. Yeah, I don't even have one handy.
I'll show. I have one. I know.
Yes. Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Those right dollies. So I have a bunch of different size pieces of not particle board. I'm sorry, plywood that I have cut down depending on the size of furniture that I'm working on, and that's what I use. So basically, because I spray outside, so I'll get all my prep done here in my workspace. Before I even get started, I put my stuff on a rolly or on a dolly with the piece of wood underneath it, so it fits the piece exactly. And then that way I can just roll it in and out and not ask for help or anything, because I have to go through my house to get to my backyard, which is where I spray.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is this still happening? Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Susan says,
yeah, everyone can hear you. I didn't see that.
Kathy says, it may have been on one of the other pages. We are live on Dixie Belle, your page, my YouTube, and my Facebook page. So Kathy says, where did you get the bottles to store the paint? That's a good question. Again, I got them right when everything got locked down and supplies were hard to find. I ended up getting them on eBay, who the guy said his wife sadly had passed away, and he was clearing out all of her craft stuff. Yeah. So I actually have probably 100 of them, but it was a really good price. So I just bought them. And I prefer those. FIFO. No, well, those aren't the FIFO. I was going to say, I prefer those over the FIFO. So the FIFO is they sit upside down so that, first in, first out. I don't care for those. And I don't
either.
Yeah, there was a reason. I can't remember what it is.
Can you show us one of those bottles? Because they dry out the paint on the tip. Can you show us your bottle that you keep the paint in?
Hold, please.
Yeah, they're cool. Hi, Ronnie. Hello, Allison. Hello, Donna. Hi, Trish. Hi, Sharon and Pauline.
You guys see that okay?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So they're almost like acrylic paint bottles.
Basically, but they're just filled with Dixie Belle paint. And then, you know, if I need to add a little bit of water, I can. I can't remember why. I'm sorry, you guys. There was logic to the whole, like, not wanting the ones that sit upside down.
I know what the logic is, because on my lives, I always talk about it because they make me so mad, because even if they're upside down, they dry on the tip and then they glob, and then you have to pull them apart.
I think that's what it was.
Pull the dry part out. Yeah, they don't work well, but those seem cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've used these quite a bit. It stays pretty clean, so.
Yeah. Oh, I want some of those now.
I picked purple. Purple's my favorite. Just the mention of purple.
Color.
I know, I get all giddy.
You're all happy. Purple.
Oh, so any questions for us as far as our workshops go before we move on to the open Q&A portion of the program?
Let's say flip top bottles. That's what they're called, flip top bottles.
Yes. Okay. Yes, she's correct. I hate the triangle wheel things for the same reason. Do you mean the triangle that sit under the furniture? Those are awful. You guys don't even go there.
Really?
Do you use those? The triangles? No, girl, get yourself some of that plywood.
I actually got rid of all the plywood ones. I didn't like them because I couldn't Tetris myself in good enough. But you know what I find works really good? You got to spray those wheels every once in a while with a little WD-40.
Yeah.
You got to hit them with some WD-40. True. Yeah. But I like them. I like them a lot. And then I keep some. I actually ended up selling all of my ones that you like. I just sold them for like cheap and got rid of them. You know, for the first year I did furniture, I didn't even have wheels. I didn't even think of it. And my old neighbor came by and he bought me some and he goes, Leah, you need to use these. And I'm like, holy smokes. And then I went and bought like 50 of the carts, you know, and I put cabinet doors on top.
There you go. Exactly.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. Those are a lifesaver. Whatever you like, but get yourself some wheels to put your furniture on.
Whatever it is, get some wheels. Absolutely.
So you know what, though? I think it would be a good idea to hear from you guys. Like, what are your favorite tips? Like, what are the wheels you like? What are your favorite, like, what are things that you have to have? Do you prefer shop towels or shop rags? You know, do you have like a special way you store your sandpaper? Do you guys like FIFO bottles or not like FIFO bottles? Like, what are your, like, how do you store your brushes? What are your best tips? For everybody, for us and for everyone else watching, because I'm always looking for ways to improve my workshop as well. But I want to hear from you guys, like what really works for you in your shop.
I want to know too. Yeah, come on with it, you guys. So do we want to, while we're waiting for that response, what was it Donna that had a question?
It was Patty. So Patty's question, I'm going to go, I remember reading it because I recognize Patty because she always hops on, which thank you, Patty. But she was asking, and I don't know if you've done this. I haven't done it, but she wants to do a ghosted stencil over caviar. So her question was, how does she do that? And, you know, I would assume that you would like paint your caviar and then seal it with whatever you're sealing with it, you know, or your anchor, and you don't have to seal it. And then you would just use like a higher sheen, like gloss over that clear coat. Is that how you would do it? And then not top coat it after that? Hold,
please. I just did that.
Oh.
Let me show you.
Yeah. So we're talking about a ghosted stencil, which is pretty much where you don't see the stencil, and they're doing and you're creating a stencil with a clear coat.
So because again, I'm opening a booth, and I thought this would be a nice little display. It's just an old drawer that I painted, and hopefully you can see the stenciling. See if I can there we go. Get it on the right light.
It's so pretty.
So what I did was it's coated. Let me get it on the light. Do you see it there? There it is. So I did satin clear coat and then used gloss for the stencil.
How do you apply it?
Apply what?
Like the clear coat, like with a blue sponge or with a brush or?
Yeah, I just dabbed it with a blue sponge.
Just like, and is it like a light dab and you don't put a lot of product on it?
I mean, this is the first time I've done this, so I think it came out pretty good.
It looks great.
I mean, yeah, it's not as perfect as I'd like it, but I'm learning to not to not, allow that to hinder me. So I'm embracing it as it is. But yeah, I mean, I used a blue sponge, put the stencil on there, taped it down so that it didn't move around so that it didn't bleed underneath as much as possible. And then just used a blue sponge and dabbed it. I kind of stippled it, I guess.
Okay.
But you don't want to use too much because you don't want your top coat to discolor. So.
And you don't want it to bleed either. I kind of want to do it now. Oh man, it's such a cool technique.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know. I was like, I haven't tried that yet. I'm going to try it. So, and then eventually I actually found it's over there. I have a little pedestal that I ripped the top off. I'm going to put the pedestal underneath it. So I have like a freestanding little display table. So
you're so creative. I love it.
Thank you.
You're good at repurposing things.
Yeah, we do that around here. We like to make things into something that they weren't before. So
yeah, we don't have carpentry skills here.
Yeah, I don't really either. My husband does, but so in response to your question, Ashley, you had asked, what did you ask for the viewers one more time? You asked, what are the things that you can't live without?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Ashley says, I have a butter knife. Nothing I can't do with one. That's good.
I used to I would get in trouble because I would always open my paint cans with butter knives when I was working in my living room.
Cheryl has a hydraulic table. Oh, go. What are you doing? Were you going to show us something?
Yeah.
Go. I'll keep it moving while you do. That's cool, Cheryl. I hadn't thought about a hydraulic table. Fancy. Okay, Cynthia. She says, I cut up T-shirts so I don't have another added expense on shop towels. Cynthia, yeah, I buy shop towels by the pound. Here's an example of one here. It'd probably, if I went to Goodwill or something, be cheaper to go get. Maybe not Goodwill anymore, actually. They're very expensive. Other thrift stores probably be cheaper. It's just a T-shirt cut up, but you buy them. I get them at Dunn Edwards. If anybody's here in Arizona, I get them at Dunn Edwards. And I think it's like $10 for 10 pounds or something like that. So it's not terribly priced, but.
Reagan goes through clothes so quick at this point. I just grab her shirts and I use them to wipe my paintbrushes off on.
Yeah, right. What are you showing us?
Okay, these are the tools that I used to only have one of these. So this is just a box cutter. Oh my gosh. Yeah. For transfers and this is my favorite stinking tool. And don't get the expensive one because it's not better. The cheap ones, the pack of 4 for like whatever, are the best. And then this, I ordered this on Amazon and this is a 50 pack of razor blades. I think I used like one of these for like 2 years. And then finally I was like, I have to order some. But they're just razor blades. And these are great for scraping off paint drips or paint drips, or when you get it like over the edge, or this is probably the tool I use the most in my shop. Simple. And I don't have little kids, thank God, because I leave them, like I have them everywhere. They're like everywhere. No. Or to scrape off goo or price tags. Yeah. Or, they're good. They're good.
Now I use similar stuff for similar reasons. So absolutely. It's funny how, as we're talking about this and even, us talking to all of you guys, it's all these little tricks that we wouldn't think to necessarily share with anybody, talk about. And it's turning out we all actually have very similar tools and innovative ways of doing things in this industry. It's just those little things that you wouldn't think to talk about or teach on or anything like that.
Right.
If I do a live, which I haven't done forever, but if I did and I'm teaching on something, it's certainly not going to be, this is how I use an X-Acto knife to, or a paint scraper to do, X, Y, Z. So I'm finding this interesting.
Or a butter knife.
I know, a butter knife. I'm like, I hadn't thought about a butter knife. Absolutely. Yeah. I have a scraper. It's over there. I don't want to grab it and take these off again, but I use that a lot too instead of the razors because I don't have small kids, but I have cats and I have a kitten who is like the toddler from hell and she likes to be in here. So I can't leave stuff like that laying around. But Tony has a pegboard for her brushes like me. Lindsay, clear bins and containers and open shelves. If I can't see it, I forget what I have. Good.
Great point, Lindsay. I am the same way. That's why all my shelves are open.
Yeah. You're right, because I barely go into these. I usually keep stuff in there that I'm not going to forget that's in there, like caster wheels and unmentionables. Foam plates.
Yeah, foam
right.
plates and
stuff like that that I know I'll have to reach for,
Yeah,
That's so
exactly.
good, Lindsay. Let's see. I'm just gonna go through a couple more of these. Donna likes having a rolling cart. Patty, following up on the ghosting stencil. So clear coat the whole piece. Yes.
Yeah.
And then stencil in a higher sheen. Yes. Then I don't have to clear coat over ghosting. Correct. You got it, Patty.
Yep.
Now get to work. Report
Patty,
back.
I got it. So Patty, I don't know if you know this, but Dixie Belle has, we should probably include this in our news. Dixie Belle has an ebook, and Patty was the customer feature in the Dixie Belle ebook. Yeah, she did a gorgeous purple jewelry armoire, heavily detailed.
I saw that. Patty.
You know it. Yes, she did a really good job on it, and she was featured in the ebook. So that's congratulations, Patty. So next time we want to see some ghosting on that piece of furniture.
Yes, absolutely. Cynthia is very passionate. Listen, gotta have a box cutter. She is very passionate about it.
I don't know how I went so long with only one. Now I have like
I know.
10. I'm like that though. When I find something I like, I'll buy 10 of them, like tape measures, and because they get lost. Like,
yeah,
I actually could see 4 tape measures right now, which is surprising because normally I never know. But I cleaned my shop yesterday, but I buy like 10 of whatever I like: box cutters, razors, tape measures, screwdrivers.
So TT Hernandez, I use small pieces of saran wrap on the tips of my brushes when I'm painting instead of Ziploc baggies. Me too. I don't know if you guys saw on my hutch over there, but yeah, I have I go to like Costco and get the huge, like, I don't know, self-feeding thing of film roll. It's like for restaurants and stuff, but I buy that for my paint brushes instead of baggies because baggies are expensive. Also, what I'll do if I'm out of saran wrap is I'll use like grocery bags. So, grocery shopping, stuff like that, because Ziplocs that is expensive. I don't know who's got money like that.
But I like the sandwich bags, the flip top ones.
Girl, that costs too much money. Actually, no, the flip top ones. You mean
flip top ones?
Sandwich bags, like literally sandwich bags. The old school ones that you used to put in your little lunchbox when you went to school in the 90s. See, I need to go back to the 90s.
They're kind of hard to find, but this kind, because then you twist them. But I would love to see a tutorial on how you actually wrap them with saran wrap because mine dry out sometimes because sometimes the bags do have like leaks in them, like little holes or something.
Oh, well, I think because of I get the food service type, it's pretty secure.
Secure? Yeah. Oh, that's smart. That's a good tip.
Okay, so let's move on to, if you don't mind, Leah, can we move on?
Of course we can.
Let's do open Q&A.
All right.
We're starting to get some questions and I'd love to be able to, we would love to be able to answer them for you guys. So
no, Bianca's answering everything today.
No, please don't make me.
It's your responsibility. I'm kidding.
Okay, I actually saw a question. Where did it go? While I'm looking for that, you guys start asking questions. Open Q&A, so it doesn't have to be related to anything other than obviously, this industry. So doesn't have to be related to anything super specific. Here we go. What are the best brushes, rags to apply, chalk, satin, or any tips and tricks for smoothing paint?
I was just reading that.
Oh, were you? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you pulled it up because I was like, I like seeing it on the screen. Do you want to answer or do you want me to?
I think, well, because I think that this is personal preference, I think we should both if we can kind of get through it quickly. So for me, I really like Dixie Belle's synthetic brushes. Is that what you have there, Leah, in your sandwich bag? Yeah. Show them, Leah.
This is a synthetic.
Yeah, I really like them because they don't really shed a whole lot. They do a little bit when they're newer, but as you use them and break them in, they really don't. I don't have issues with them shedding much, if at all. And I find that the paint goes on very smooth. The trick is, for me anyway, that I've learned is if you're using chalk, is to keep it wet. And then usually I'll do like a crosshatch technique. So I will use the brush and I'll put the paint on and then I'll come back over it. So say that I'm brushing on this way, I'll come back over it and just make passes going the opposite way, but I won't overwork it. So that's a big thing. Don't overwork your paint or your top coat.
Yeah, that's a great tip. For smooth painting, I was thinking finishing. I also really like the finishing pads Dixie Belle has. They're just like white finishing pads. I cut them in half. And then after I'll go over and I'll just like, once it's done, I'll go over it with that. But I do the same thing. If I'm doing a blended look, I do go back over it with like a clean dry brush. And then I'll just like smooth everything over. Like, let's say I blended 2 colors and you're kind of going all different directions. And then I'll just go over it with a clean dry brush and just, and the synthetic too. The synthetics are really good for blending.
Yeah, they're amazing for it, especially the oval medium, which is, you know, a rounder brush. So depending on your blending style. So I'm, you know, more of a messy blender and I like swirly blends, and actually I'm more stipple than anything, but yeah, they're great for that too. And actually what I really like is because I am horribly abusive to my brushes when I paint, because I stipple and do like a grunge look, and they get, by the time I'm done, like my perfectly nice brush looks like this, like a 10-month-old toothbrush, you know. By the way, 10 months old, time for a new toothbrush. But anyway, they bounce back. They come clean.
They do.
And they bounce back. So that's what I would recommend.
I've never thrown away a Dixie Belle brush ever. The synthetics.
Yeah, I don't. Mine are so old. Yeah. So Cynthia, I've been painting for, I think 6 years, 6 or 7.
I think 4.5. 4.5.
Yeah. Cynthia says, I like the Dixie Belle blue sponges for top coating. Leah showed me that.
Oh, good. Yeah. I love those.
Leah, did you say that there were some questions? You had a list of questions. We have approximately 12 minutes left of our show, and we always hope that you guys walk away and learn something from us, besides just, you know, our favorite foods and what year we'd go back to. I really had a lot of fun with that question.
I know. There's so many. Pam wanted to just know the basics. So, that's one question I think is always a good one to address, because we get so close to our craft. Like, I think back to when I first painted. One of the first things I really remember painting was like going on Pinterest and finding out how to paint something. And I remember I was painting my dining room table and I went and bought a gallon of oil-based primer, which I think I ended up like I threw it away. But because there's no reason you really ever need oil-based primer. But I had no idea what I was doing. So what I would tell you for the basics, and I think Bianca can agree, just the first thing you really need to learn is how to prep your piece of furniture, how to clean it. You know, there's tons of videos. I have a prep video. I have a prep blog. Bianca does too, I'm sure. And Dixie Belle does on their website. Clean your piece with white lightning and rinse it well. And then from there, you can go into like, do you need to scuff sand? Is it shiny? Or is it dry? If it's a little dry, paint will probably adhere well. Do you need to use a primer? Is it going to bleed? Is it going to need slick stick? And then once you know those two things, pretty much prep, like how to clean your piece first, then pretty much if you go and paint your piece after you clean it, even if you haven't used a primer, you're pretty much safe. Like, those are things I almost feel like you learn along the way, or you know from watching shows like this. Can you add to that?
No. That's pretty good. I mean, I guess the one piece of advice outside of like technique that I usually offer to people when they're just getting started as far as the basics is don't bite off more than you can chew. So oftentimes, especially, over the years, I've mentored people and they'll come to me and say, I bought this huge, like hutch, and it's got glass and it's got all these doors and compartments and I'm going to paint it. How do I do that? And I'm like, that's fine. You can start there, but why not start with something smaller and less intimidating? to get your bearings and to see if this is even something that you want to do. So usually I will tell people, you know, start off small if you can and go from there. I know when I started, I was big into like end tables.
Yeah.
Because I could get them on my kitchen counter to paint them. But, you know, those were my jam for a bit because it allowed me to do something quickly. It didn't take up too much space and also allowed me to experiment with different techniques and creative applications because it wasn't so big and overwhelming. So
Right.
hopefully that feeds you, question asker. Who was this? I'm sorry. Patty?
Oh,
No.
this was Pam.
Pam. Okay.
Pam
Hopefully that
Wintermute.
helps, Pam.
Yeah. So that's always a good one. I want to change the look of my gold artwork frames to silver or a blend of gold and silver. Do you suggest silver glaze, metallics, or mousse? Dixie Belle recommended the mousse, which I agree. I'm all about using what you have on hand. So, you know, whatever you have on hand, honestly, they all could be good, but I bet everyone has mousse on hand because you're getting it free with every order right now.
Yeah, but it's amber.
No, I've gotten silver. The last 2 times I've gotten silver.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I've been getting the silver mousse.
Oh, well, hey, I guess it's just a mousse Russian roulette.
Yeah, it pretty much is. It pretty much is. But no, I mean, if you're going to change like art, I feel like artwork frames it's easiest to use either the gilding wax or the mousse, opposed to the paint products, which I would say I would do like they're thinner, the glazes or the metallics, the moonshine metallics. I would stick gilding wax or mousse, whichever one you have.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I typically reach for the gilding wax.
Same.
But yeah, I love that stuff. I put that on everything.
I know, I do too. And you guys, stenciling, gilding wax. Okay, so stenciling is hard. We're just going to throw it out there. Stenciling I find to be a really hard thing to do with paint, but gilding wax, man, I am the master of it. I love it. I just did it today.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we do have more questions. I'm just looking here. Where did it go? Ashley wants to know, what are your white hoils? Why did I say it like that? I'm tapping into my older uncle. White hoils. Say what? The
white
one
whales?
thing, white whales. The one thing you'd love to paint but haven't gotten to do. Oh, that's a tough one.
A floor. I haven't painted a floor yet.
I was thinking furniture, but you went out. See, you didn't box yourself in. Good.
We're learning. We're all learning.
I don't want to paint a floor.
I'm dying to.
I will hire somebody to paint. There are just listen, there are things I do not do. Or like even when I was doing customs, I don't anymore. People are like, will you do my dining room set? No, I will not.
Oh, I don't do dining room sets. I'll do my own, but not yours.
I don't even know if I'll do my own. There's I feel like that'd be the better question. What are some things that you will not paint?
I was going to say that.
Yeah. That's definitely one, and I hate things with glass. But anyway, getting back to Ashley's question here. The one thing you paint that you haven't gotten to do. Oh, I really just don't know. I'm only thinking in terms of furniture right now. I really don't have much of a desire to paint anything else. I guess kitchen cabinets. I would love to paint my kitchen cabinets.
Oh, Jacobine buffet. Your kitchen cabinets?
Yeah, I would love to do that. But I'm just like, too much of a job. See, that's what I mean, biting off more than you can chew. Yeah. Unless I'm in the right mental space, it's probably not a good idea. So, yeah.
That's a big job.
It's a big job. I mean, Donna, you can start with a Jacobian. Is it Jacobian or Jacobian?
It depends on what part of the country you're from.
Correct. That's a whole debate too. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
I say Jacobine.
And I say Jacobian. See, I've heard it so many different ways. I've even looked it up on YouTube, how they have those pronunciations. Yeah, I get it different ways too. So, what do you girls use? This is a question for you. What do you use to seal gold leaf? I heard water-based sealers oxidize the gold leaf over time. I'm asking you this because Leah uses a lot of gold leaf, including that piece behind her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I either use gator hide or like if you go on Amazon and you buy the gold leaf adhesive, it comes with a sealer in like a little jar. You could use that too. So like this piece I used Anchor, and I am not top coating over black because it's just a paint. And I love that the silk paint, you don't have to top coat and you still get a nice finish. So I'll just go on this with an artist brush with that sealer that came with the gold leaf. It doesn't come with it, but it's like the Speedball gold leaf adhesive and sealer. So I do use that, but it is water based. Most of the time I just use gator hide because I just spray my top coat on. But in this case, I'm not. So I got it in like a package, and I've used it a lot. But gator hide, I've never had a problem sealing gold leaf with gator hide.
And it hasn't oxidized over time?
Not really, no. I mean, this piece was in my daughter's room, and I sealed it with either satin or probably gator hide. I probably buy it with gator hide. And it wasn't, I mean, it was totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had that issue either with water-based sealers.
I've never heard that.
You mean either. My piano is covered in gold leaf. I did it, I want to say like 4 years ago, and I sealed it with satin polyurethane, water-based, and I haven't noticed it. So I'm not sure. Yeah, but Leah's saying gator hide works, so,
works
get
great.
you some of that if you can.
Yeah, get me some too.
Right. Christine. Okay, so really quick before we answer that, we have like 3 minutes left. So Leah, how about we speed run these questions? Yeah. Okay. Christine, if you use mousse, how long do you have to wait before you put clear coat over it? I waited 24 hours. It's smeared all over. One tip for you, Christine, is to add a little bit of satin clear coat, gloss clear, just some kind of clear coat to the mousse. Mix it up real good and then use it, and you shouldn't have that issue. Agree? Are you in agreement?
I'm in agreement.
Yeah. Or you can spray over the mousse. If you have a paint sprayer, great. Put your clear coat in there. Use that, or get yourself a rattle can.
Make sure it cures 24 hours though, because I have had it turn green on me.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Donna, do you prefer spraying or like hand brushing a sealer?
I hand sealed for like 3 years. I love my sprayer. I will never go back. I will never go back.
I don't remember the last time I've done it by hand.
Nope.
I don't do that. Sometimes I feel like a diva. I'm like, I don't do that.
Nope. Once you cross that bridge, you're like, no, I'm not going back to that. That was too much work.
For real. It's so much faster, and all the results are just so much cleaner. So yeah. Obviously spraying. Does Dixie Belle have classes on painting and adding decals to furniture, either online, website, or particular store? So check with your local retailers if you're looking for in-person instruction. Oftentimes your local retailers will offer workshops, classes, demonstrations, etc. Dixie Belle does have on their website some tutorials. If you go to Dixie Belle's YouTube channel, there is an extensive list of tutorials on there. And then you can also follow some of the brand ambassadors, myself or Leah included. We like to put a lot of tutorials out there. And anything you want to add to that?
No, a lot of it just depends on the video. Like I have a YouTube channel, Bianca has a YouTube channel. You can just go and search, and there's a lot of content.
So we got this question. I think we're going to end with this. What sprayer do you use? Says Pamela. Kathy says, what sprayer do you use? So I use a Graco HVLP. I got the 9.0 standard series. All that to say that it's like the entry level, yet still professional HVLP. I think it's around $1,000. I've had that thing for, I think, like 4 years, and it works like a champ still. I get even coverage. And what's cool about it is that I can, so if this is my sprayer, okay, I can make sure that's closed. I can paint this way. I can paint this way. So if you're working on things that you pretty much need to be a contortionist to get to, like it's great. It's great. And I get even distribution, and I don't even have to necessarily water certain paints down because there's different needles and etc.
Wow.
And you?
Nice.
And you?
I use the Apollo E7000 or the Apollo HVLP E7000. That's what I use.
Okay.
I don't know much more about it, but I love Apollo because when I have questions, I call and they answer my questions, and then I do what I got to do and I move on to the next thing.
Listen, if you guys haven't sprayed before and that's something that you want to start doing, I would definitely say, again, whatever sprayer model that you end up with, I'm sure there's videos out there on how to use it. It is a technique. There is definitely a technique to it. So practice makes perfect, as with anything. So,
it takes time.
It takes time, but ooh, is it worth it?
Yes. Yes.
Carry us out, Leah.
Okay, guys.
It's your responsibility.
It is my responsibility. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you guys have any questions, you can send us an email anytime of the week at beyondthebrushlive@gmail.com. Just go ahead and take a screenshot. Oh, wait, put that back up. I wasn't done. Thank you. Please. Just take a screenshot of this.
Just bossy.
A little bit. Anyway, take a screenshot so you have the email. And then I think Dixie Belle has been putting up a thread on Tuesdays as well where you can ask your question. And then we always like to serve you. If you join us live, we do like to answer your questions live here as well. So there we go. Now we can say goodbye.
We'll see you next week.
Bossy.
Yeah, I know. Bye, guys.